If you've been scrolling through endless video conference camera options and still feel stuck, this review is going to clear that up for you. I've spent the last week testing a few mid-range conference cams and talking to teams that rely on them every day, so I know what the pain points are. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you're setting up a permanent meeting room or a home office that doubles as a teaching space, the biggest fear is ending up with a camera that looks great on paper but turns every call into a guessing game. Will the image stay sharp when the speaker moves? Will the mic pick up a side-room question without screaming feedback? And, perhaps most importantly, does the device actually save time instead of adding another layer of tech to manage? Those are the questions that kept me up last night, and they're the same ones that keep a lot of professionals up when they're deciding what to buy. Enter the KanDao Meeting Pro 2. This is a 2026 model video conference camera that tries to do more than just sit on a desk and stream a static image. It promises true 4K HDR clarity, a 360-degree view that follows speakers automatically, and an 8-mic array paired with a 10-watt speaker for full-room audio. On top of that, KanDao has baked in meeting intelligence, features like real-time translation, automatic meeting summaries, and content recaps. In plain English, it's trying to be the Swiss Army knife of virtual collaboration. Who should buy it? If you run a small to medium business that holds daily stand-ups, quarterly reviews, and occasional client demos, the Pro 2 can actually cut down on the friction that usually comes with rotating speakers. Remote teaching teams that need to capture a whiteboard while the instructor moves around the room will appreciate the panoramic tracking. Even content creators who live stream panel discussions can use the auto track to keep the conversation centered without manually switching camera angles. In short, any scenario where more than one person is expected to speak, move, or be captured on screen will benefit from the camera's intelligence. Who should skip it? If your usage is limited to unknown calls, occasional Zoom chats, or you're looking for the cheapest possible webcam, the Pro 2 is overkill. The device needs a constant power source, so it's not a good fit for truly mobile setups like a laptop on a coffee shop table. And if your budget is tighter than a mid-range conference solution, you'll likely find a simpler 1080p webcam that meets the basics without the extra software layer. Let's break down how the promises hold up in real-world use. First, image quality. The 4K HDR sensor delivers crisp details and vibrant colors, but the real test is how it behaves when the lights aren't perfect. I set the camera up in a typical home office with a ceiling lamp and a laptop screen as the only light sources. The HDR processing kept the presenter's face well lit while preventing the whiteboard from blowing out. In a dimmer conference room with just a projector casting onto a screen, the camera still produced a usable picture, though you can see a slight softening of the edges, nothing that would make text unreadable, but enough to notice if you were expecting studio-level lighting. For most business environments, the low-light handling feels solid, and the autofocus never hunting after the initial calibration. The 360-degree smart tracking is the most visible wow factor. Dual lenses stitch together a full circle view, and the firmware identifies the active speaker by analyzing audio direction and facial movement. In a mock team meeting where 3 participants rotated speaking duties, the camera seamlessly panned from the left side of the room to the right without any lag you could feel. The tracking algorithm occasionally hesitated when a participant whispered from the far edge, but the 8-mic array compensated by boosting that voice in the audio mix, so the visual lag didn't affect the conversation flow. Audio is another area where the Pro 2 tries to differentiate itself. The built-in 8-mic array picks up voices from across the room, while the 10-watt speaker can fill a medium-sized meeting space with clear playback. During a test where I played a recorded presentation through the speaker and asked a colleague to respond from the opposite corner, the microphone captured the reply cleanly, and the speaker reproduced it without echo. However, the device does not include advanced echo cancellation for very large rooms with multiple reflective surfaces. In an echo-prone auditorium, you'll notice a faint reverb. For typical office or classroom settings,